Welcome back to Trailer Trash Flips. And I gotta tell you, I am probably in my entire history of selling on eBay for coming up on 2 years, the least motivated right now as I have ever been. I do have 4 orders going out today for a grand total of $43.16, but that's about average for these days. And let's talk about the title of the video. So I got a negative feedback and a return request in one day, neither of which are really all of that big of a deal, but you know, that combined with the fairly low sales I've been having, man, like I don't even feel like listening at this point. I'm just kind of saying to heck with eBay for right now. All right, so first, the return request. Not all that big a deal. I've mentioned before that my returns are fairly low, and returns really in and of themselves don't bother me all that much. I think the last time I looked at my return rate, it was like 0.5. You know what, I'm gonna look it up real quick. I was just looking at this and it says that my transaction defect rate is 0.17 because 2 transactions that I canceled for being out of stock. I don't even remember doing that. I mean, I don't really care that much about it because it's so low, but I really don't remember that happening. Okay, my return rate is 0.58%, 7 out of 1,210 transactions. So it's still very low. And like I said, returns in and of themselves don't really bother me. I kind of did not like this guy's attitude, but I've always thought that for myself, if you're just going to want to return something because it didn't work, or even if you didn't like it, that's okay. I'm going to work with you. Of course, I do have no returns accepted, but there has never been one time that I did not work with a buyer. Well, there's actually going to be something that I'm going to tell you in a minute, but beyond that, if you don't like it, if you got a problem with it, just message me. And I've never not taken a return, and I never will, except for a couple reasons. It says 3 mil thick, crystal clear. In reality, these are paper thin, cloudy AF. I buy 3 to 4 mil sleeves all the time, and these are not even close. They are worthless. Does that photo look crystal clear? I had a TV playing behind it. Some attitude there. But you know what? It wasn't beyond the point where, look, if you don't like them, fine. I'll refund your money. I did not want him to ship these back. I don't want them back. Just keep them. I'll refund your money. It's not that big a deal. You probably seen me ship these out, you know, last video or the video before. I only have $1 into both packs of these because I paid 50 cents each for them. So not that big a deal. But then same day, which was yesterday, I got this negative. I ordered the wrong thing by mistake. Started the return. Then PayPal said this seller does not take returns. I thought one of the reasons that eBay was so popular that it always said products could be returned for good reasons. Well, I think good reasons are very subjective. But did this buyer reach out to me and say, hey, I ordered the wrong thing. Can we do something? Can I return these or what? No, they went straight to retaliatory feedback. So when they do that, I have no intention of fixing the situation. Now, they could always turn around and maybe try to do an INAD or a chargeback. And if they do, so be it. But as it stands right now, this kind of retaliatory thing, I'm not playing their game. I've had 99.7% positive feedback for almost a year. And I could not get over that hump because of one negative. I only had one single negative the entire time. One. And it was for a part that the guy bought, and he said it didn't work. Bam, retaliatory feedback. Never contacted me or anything. And at that point, I would have refunded his money, even though he did that because I wanted to keep 100% positive. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't really care. Like I said, I'd rather keep the negative feedback than send this buyer a message and say, hey, if you remove your feedback, I'll issue a refund for these items. I'm not doing it. And the thing that really sucks is I try to get my orders out usually sometimes same day or even next day, even though I have 3-day handling. Most of my orders go out same or next day. I try to pack them very well. And then you have this type of buyer who's so quick to leave negative feedback instead of just contacting me. it would have probably been the same or less effort to actually send me a message. I'd like to hear some opinions on how much responsibility that I bear in this particular case. I think that I probably have a little bit of responsibility simply because the buyer saw that I didn't offer returns. But at the same time, most buyers simply reach out when there's an issue and the problem gets resolved. I know that that's what I would do, although I realize that everyone is not quite like that, and that's pretty obvious from this situation. I've been considering doing 30-day buyer paid returns, and if I had that, then this situation may have not even happened. So that's why I believe that I'm partially responsible for the negative feedback, although I think the bulk of the responsibility lies on the buyer for not simply contacting me like almost everyone else does. So far on eBay, things have worked out pretty well for me by not offering returns but working with the buyers. But I do think in this instance that if I had offered returns, I wouldn't be sitting on that negative feedback and potentially on the other negative feedback that I have, although I'm not 100% sure about that one. So let me know in the comments how you handle returns, whether you're doing no returns, buyer pays, or free returns. I don't think that I'm going to do free returns. It's just, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. But I do think that I'm going to move towards 30-day buyer pays returns. Now with all that nonsense out of the way, I'm going to go pull my orders. In the E3 bin, I've got 3 items. The first is this Neutrogena Microderm Abrasion System Applicator, and this sold for $43.16 plus shipping. Next I have some Vet's Best Flea and Tick Treatment, and this sold for $7.46 plus shipping. And I also have a 3-pack of rivet dies, and where they're at. And these sold for $13.46 plus shipping. In the E4 bin, I've got some Handy Sheet flexible silicone dividers. And these sold for $9.41 plus shipping. Okay, the rivet dies came from the bin store, and they were $1, I believe. The flea and tick treatment, I actually bought this for my own dog, but I ended up just selling it because he's on a preventative from the vet. So I think it was $1 if I remember correctly. This Neutrogena Microderm Abrasion deal, I think I paid $2 for this. I'm going to include a little clip after I finish this part of the video of something involving this, and I think it was marked $4, and I ended up paying $2 because it came from an estate sale. But it appears to be brand new. It actually looked like they had put batteries in it and never used it because the plastic is still on the little applicator deal, and it's got this little holder. And apparently these are very, very good sellers. They have a very good sell-through rate, so that wasn't too bad of a buy at all. And this Handy Sheets thing, I actually bought this for myself, and I never used them, so I went ahead and sold these. And I want to say I bought these for like $5. So with what they sold for, even after a little bit on the shipping, you know, I'll make a few dollars on it, but not much. I was cleaning some corrosion out of the battery compartment of this Neutrogena Advanced Solutions thing. I think it's a Microderm Abrasion tool or whatever you call it. And I thought I'd show this just because I know most resellers probably know about this, but in case you didn't, on how to clean corrosion out. And these things are comping out at pretty good prices. Pre-owned $35, pre-owned $25, pre-owned $35. So picking this up at $2 was really a bargain. And the only issue with it was corrosion in the battery compartment. You can even see the little spinny head deal. It's still got plastic on it. So it almost looks like it was never used. Like maybe they put batteries in it and just left it. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe other resellers saw this and said, well, it's got corrosion in the battery compartment, I don't want to fool with it. So they just passed it on by. But to clean the corrosion out, all I'm using is a Q-tip or a few Q-tips and some white vinegar. I kind of already did most of that side, but it's real simple. I just dip the Q-tip in the vinegar and the corrosion, it almost kind of melts away because the vinegar is acidic and it really eats that stuff away. If you ever find a little chunk of corrosion and you drop it in the vinegar, you'll see how the vinegar just completely obliterates it. I have this little pick tool, which is some kind of crafting tool I got from Dollar Tree. And if there's anything that's like up in a corner that the Q-tip can't access, I can just kind of pick that out with the point of this tool. And also, if any of your cotton from the Q-tip gets caught, you can kind of pull it out with this also. Sometimes the corrosion might be so thick that it just needs a scraping. Like right here is a little chunk of corrosion. So the little pick tool was able to get that off. It's looking pretty good now. I'm going to take one more final Q-tip, just wipe everything off, try to get any of the vinegar that was still in there off, and just kind of wipe out the whole compartment. So I think I'm done. Looks pretty good. And here was the back of it. There's a little bit of the corrosion right there. And the vinegar dissolved it right away. So let me wipe this off. All right, I think that is good enough. So just spending about 5 minutes maybe getting that corrosion off, and then I'll be able to turn $2 into hopefully 25 to 30. Today is Friday, and I've got a total of $56.05 going out. So I'm at about $28 per day before fees and cost of goods over the last couple days. My sale did expire apparently late last night, so I need to get that going again because I do price my items higher, and then the sale brings them down to around market value. I need that sale to have the items priced accordingly. So I'm going to get that done as soon as I'm done with this video. In addition to watching other YouTube resellers, I'm still getting a lot of comments on my videos from other sellers and how their sales are going. And I'm still seeing that a lot of people do have lower sales like myself. So my best guess right now is that it is an eBay issue, but it's also an economy issue, at least to some point. And the reason I believe that is because my regular day work is down significantly. I only had a total of 3 calls this week, but that's really, really low. I mean, I should be getting at least 15 or 20 calls per week, and my business is way off. So I'm kind of catching this whole thing from both sides, from my regular work and from eBay. So it does seem that it's not just an eBay issue, but the economy also. And I do want to thank everyone who's been watching and commenting on the videos. I really do appreciate that. I think I've just been kind of bummed as an overall with eBay over the last couple weeks with the low sales, the low dollar sales on top of that. And I just wonder when things are going to change. And it was not very long ago, you know, eBay was what I wanted to do, and I still do. But at this point, I kind of have my doubts whether that's ever going to be a thing for me. You know, I make decent money with my day work, but I'm just tired of doing it. I've been doing it for over 20 years. And I've taken ups and downs in the economy and other things that have happened. And I could do it until I retire. I mean, that is not all that far away, but I'm really just kind of burnt out on doing it. I love everything about eBay way more than I do my other stuff because it's fairly boring. But I just don't know if I'm going to get there. I don't see myself right now just throwing in the towel. But the earlier part of this video that I filmed a couple days ago with the negative feedback, not the return request, that really didn't bother me, but the negative feedback and just these buyers' attitudes, I don't know. I don't deal with a whole lot of that outside of eBay. I've got tons of customers, and I think one of the differences is when I talk to customers in person, you know, it's easier, I think, to talk to them and explain things, where you're just leaving feedback and comments over the internet. It's not quite the same deal. So I really don't deal with too many bad customers. And occasionally when I get one, you know, I can smooth things out and make them understand, hey, you know, this is why such and such happened. And it just works itself out. As far as I can remember, I've never had a problem with a customer long-term who was mad because we always work it out. As far as eBay goes, I'm still planning on riding this thing out for a while and seeing how things go. But you know, 5 or 6 months down the road, if things have not significantly improved, I don't see myself doing this in the future. I don't want to be a part-time eBayer. Let me just say that. I'm much more of an all-in person. I don't want to just halfway do it and do it part-time. And there's nothing wrong with doing it part-time. I've been doing it almost 2 years, but that was not my ultimate goal. I want to be a full-time eBay seller. And when I say eBay seller, I mean probably primarily eBay, but I do want to sell on other platforms in the future. I guess I want to get eBay really more established, get more items listed, have a bigger store, and then start getting into the other platforms. But who knows how things will work out. I'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully things will get better. And one more thing, probably like a lot of you, I am tired of seeing this clutter in the background. And I do have something in the works. It does bother me. I don't like seeing that clutter, and I'm sure most of you don't either. The first item I have going out is in bin 011, and it is 2 of these 3-packs of Live Clean Baby Calming Bedtime Baby Lotion. There's 1 and 2, and these sold for $25.42 plus shipping. In the 05 bin, I sold a replacement back cover for an Even Flow Go Time booster seat, and this sold for $14.21 plus shipping. In the H13 bin, I sold a set of Pro Taper motorcycle grips. And these sold for $8.96 plus shipping. Back in my eBay room, and in the F bin, all right, let me try to finagle this without this bin falling out. I sold this Chex cereal patch for $7.46 plus shipping. So here are all 4 items going out today. First, I have the Chex most popular driver patch, and this was something that I've had sitting around the house for many years. It came out of a cereal box, so that is pretty much 100% profit at this point. The Live Clean Baby Calming Lotion, I showed these in a haul from the bin store a while back, and I think these were only 50 cents that day. I don't think I put $1 into them. It's possible, but I think these were 50 cents. So if that's the case, and I think it is, you know, I've only got $3 into all these, and they sold for $25.42 plus shipping. And I know the other day I was talking about I am putting how much I paid in my custom SKU, but all this stuff is from before I started doing that, so I don't remember for sure. The replacement booster seat cover, it was either $1 or $2 at the bin store, and the Pro Taper grips were 50 cents at the bin store. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.